Okay, what's up? I'll try to do a very quick Spider-Man trilogy review, although I have to be honest. So I rewatched the first two Spider-Mans by Sam Raimi. I did not watch Spider-Man 3. Get rid of that. I don't think I will ever will rewatch it. I just hated it. I was so disappointed when the IMDb rating for it when it came out and it was like 6.9 or something at the time. I was expecting like it's going to be 8 point something. It's going to be so great. Danny Elfman did the music for the first two. Very cool music, but he pulled out of the third one, and I think maybe that was a red flag. Maybe too much studio involvement, forcing him to have. But that's it's funny. You get say with Spider-Man 3, let's show it again, and it's got Venom and what's Sandman, the Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream, boom 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 boom, make it the cutest. But I think a criticism some people will make is that there's too many villains, there's too much going on, and it's like Infinity War has like a million characters, so that and it's overall very good, I think. Same with Civil War, some of these other movies, they have a lot of characters. So that's not, and the same with Batman and Robin. Like it has, too many characters. That's not the reason it's terrible. It's terrible because it's terrible. Anyway, let's move on from Spider-Man 3. Yeah, these first two I do like a lot. They were probably, in some ways, different. I actually liked them more for the character moments and more for the emotions and even just the Uncle Ben I really liked in the first one, and Aunt May, is that her name? Aunt May? I keep thinking Auntie M or from Wizard of Oz or Aunt Ella from Oklahoma. I get all these aunts, they're very confusing. I do like Willem Dafoe in the first one. He's just very good at the playing a crazy person and just has the unique voice. Godspeed, Spider-Man. Can Spidey come out and play? But I didn't like the or it's very, very cliche, very stupid, like really stupid, the kind of the origin story for Green Goblin, the way he does the tests and that stuff. There's the science is just so stupid and over the top. I guess it's okay for what it is, but I think a bit similar with Doc Ock. Doc Ock, I think the second one is maybe a little better. It kind of owns it a bit more. It's like, yes, this is just really stupid. Like the chip is evil, it's controlling him, and it's yeah. So I'll jump around. The Uncle Ben character I really like. I really like what he says to Peter. With great power comes great responsibility, and I thought it really captured the way they kind of have a bit of an awkward moment, kind of an argument. Peter Parker's, you get the sense he's a good kid. He's good. You get the sense Uncle Ben's really nice, but you also get the sense anyone in that relationship, it can be, you sometimes get annoyed with the older person who's like, yeah, I get it, I know. And the older person can also feel maybe a bit sad, like they're losing connection, or there's tension, like it's never going to be perfect. And I like how it's kind of awkward between them, and then Uncle Ben gets killed, and then that's their last moment. And so there's that guilt that I nearly said Peter Parker feels. And yet at the same time you sense, no, like even if that was a bit awkward, there is love, there's a good connection, they really do care about each other a lot, and it was just a little bit of an accident that they had a slight disagreement. But yeah, that whole sequence I really liked. It really resonates when he gets killed, and then just the anger. The action scenes I generally like. I think the CGI is not perfect anymore, but overall it's pretty exciting. Like I said, the music's good. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 oh, there's lots of different parts. I do like the style of the music as well, though. There's a lot of percussion. Danny Elfman's good with percussion and weird kind of instruments. Not quite like Tom Waits in his albums. He'll have weird percussive elements and instruments, like weird objects used as drums and stuff. But it's not quite like that. But yeah, Danny Elfman will have interesting instruments, and it feels like a spider. Like it makes you think of like kind of webs and threads and something kind of, I don't know, like a tribal energy to it. This tactile strength. I don't know. These words come to mind, but I like that, and it also feels like the theme's kind of finding itself. It's kind of good, noble, but also like, yeah, growing and exploring. And Green Goblin, It's kind of like going all over the place. I'm probably messing it up. Boom. It's good. I think I like Mary Jane, but she's probably maybe not my favorite character overall in the two movies. It gets a bit frustrating with her and Peter Parker. The conflict is, are they going to be together or no? But and yet at the same time I kind of like it. I think that's the point. The point is that probably more so Peter Parker is like just in two minds and can't make up his mind, or you know. But that's the nature of him. He doesn't know what to do, and that is the tension. And yeah, in a way it's frustrating, but that's the mistake I think he makes, or the indecision. I mean, she's kind of inconsistent as well. Like she doesn't really. It reminds me of Han Solo and Princess Leia in the Star Wars movies, where they can't like admit, they're too kind of juvenile to just out say like I love you, I like you, I want to be with you. They're too proud for that. So it's kind of the love comes out, blossoms in a different way. And when they're under pressure from the Empire, Darth Vader coming to get them. It just feels a bit similar. Peter Parker and Mary Jane, they like each other, but it's like Peter Parker won't reveal who he is, of course, and Mary Jane keeps kind of giving him a chance, but then she'll kind of deliberately go with some other guy to make him jealous, like rather than being more direct. Both of them, anyway, it seems like they could handle it a different way. And there's interesting tension with Peter Parker, like, you know, he's got to keep his identity, or he can't have any friends or family because they'll get hurt. But then is that worth it? Or should he give up Spider-Man and then just be with the people he likes? One part I really like in the second one, there's a speech that Aunt May gives him, and she says it's out the backyard, she's like packing up. Also, there's that really heartfelt moment where he tells her what really happened with Uncle Ben, and he feels guilty, and again, it's kind of awkward, and she pulls away, but I think it's done pretty well. Like these, I mean, in real life, when you have these discussions with people, it often doesn't go nicely or well, but you might resolve it later. It's not easy communicating. We often emotionally react to things. We put off telling someone something important. We don't know how the other person's going to react to it. It can feel very awkward. The movie captures that, I think. Anyway, so they're out the back packing up, and this boy comes as well, and you know, he's kind of excited about Spider-Man. Is he coming back? And then Aunt May seems to know. She seems to have figured out that he's Spider-Man, but it doesn't really matter. And she says something like, I believe there's a hero in all of us that makes us strong, keeps us noble, helps us find the difference between right and wrong. I forget the exact details. You know, sometimes we have to give up what we want the most, even our dreams, to do the right thing, or something like that. It has really resonated with me, and it clicked that I think it's really, in many ways, it's like a speech about God. But see, I'm not religious, but what she's describing, I think for a lot of people, that's what they mean by God. I know quite a few people who have said, how can people not believe in God? Like, how can you be so immoral? How do you have your... Which I find puzzling. I don't see why you have to literally believe in God or believe in some guy with a beard that created everything in order to have morals. But that's why people need to define what they mean by God. But anyway, what she's talking about, like in terms of psychology, in terms of hope or faith or something, I relate to. I definitely have a feeling inside of like some kind of, I want to do good. That's part of why I watch these superhero movies. They give you these feelings of like some ideal, something to aim for, something more powerful than just one person. That's kind of what she's getting at with Spider-Man, is this idea of there's a strength inside. You know what's right, and you have to try to do that, or you have to compromise. Anyway, I just thought it was very powerful. It really resonated with me. I liked it. And just relating it to religion, my point is that whether you're religious or not, I think most people have something like that. They have some sense of righteousness, of goodness. How far they want to follow that is another question. But it's not like some strange made-up thing. It's something we can all connect to. And you don't have to be religious to have it. And it's kind of separate from a literal God or any kind of literal text. Again, and I think religion's more of a personal thing. I think the comedy generally works. There are quite a few funny bits. J.J. Jameson J. Jones, whatever his name is, the guy with the cigar, the newspaper. I found some of that. I think it's a bit dated. It's a bit over the top. It's very, very paper thin. Again, it's funny. It generally works, but it's not. There's no depth to that, and that's where I think the movies are maybe a little dated. And some of the climax, the action climax, a lot of it is kind of a bit over the top or a bit silly. Like I think with Doc Ock, his machine. Like I didn't really. This was kind of silly. I think the train part with Doc Ock versus Spider-Man is very cool. Where they both land on the train and then they're throwing things, and a lot of that's really done well. Very cool. We really see all the little Spider-Man throws parts of a car at him, or vice versa. I forget. They're both throwing things at each other, and like bits of money and stuff. The end of the first one, I really like the spider sense and the bomb, and the way he's really getting bashed up by Green Goblin, and then yeah, but then he kind of tricks Green Goblin. Like it's very cool. It works really well. There's one little part I gotta mention as well. In the second one, Mary Jane's doing a performance, and she freezes, and the guy says, "I am glad. I am glad. I am glad. Are you glad to hear it? I am glad." I guess she forgets the line. I forget because is that when he's not there, or is that because he does actually turn up, but it's late? So yeah, like I said before, the movie does kind of, it seems with Mary Jane and Peter, it just keeps going back and forth. But again, I think that's the point. That's the nature of their relationship. I think, I don't know, maybe it does get a little tiresome. I did think other aspects of the movies were a bit forgettable compared to, I don't think they were quite as good as I remembered. I think at the time they were probably very good superhero movies, but now there's so many. We're inundated with Marvel ones in particular. And in DC, I haven't seen Aquaman, but anyway, I think there have been improvements. I don't have much else to add. I think Harry's kind of, what do you call it, his path, his arc, his character arc is interesting. It's a bit annoying that he's kind of, it's almost like he just hates Spider-Man because Spider-Man killed his dad, even though he doesn't seem to click. Or does he know that his dad was Green Goblin? I don't know. I can't remember exactly, but it's still alright. I like the conflict there. They're kind of they're friends. That's a big theme with the movies. There's often two people who are like close, like Doc Ock. He kind of connects with him. It's a bit like a father figure, and Harry's like a good friend, but then they end up, there's all this conflict. So yeah, I like them, but they're not brilliant. The strengths being the music's pretty cool, the directing, especially in the second one, the claws. It's a bit like Evil Dead 2, because Sam Raimi directed those as well, where it just goes around and kills all the people. It's very stupid, but pretty fun. There's like a chainsaw and the lady drags her hands. Yeah, interesting directing. It's a pretty cool action. Parts of it are forgettable, like the science, some of the plot points, some of the, like at the newspaper, some of the other little subplots I think are not so good. But some really nice character moments and overall arcs and some nice messages, mainly with Peter and his struggles, I think are pretty cool. Anyway, I'll leave it there. And the third one is just absolute crap. I don't think I'm ever going to watch it again, ever. Anyway, okay, bye.